Welcome to Surfing Oz's tutorial on making custom scenery with SketchUp. First off, once you're in SketchUp, you need to set our units to meters. To do this, go to the top toolbar, select Window, Model Info. A new window will appear called Model Info. On the left hand column, double check you have units selected. Now go over to Format and select Decimal. In the column to the right, select meters. Now go down to length snapping and adjust to 0.1 of a meter. This makes it easier to create our object. You can now close this window. Now we need to know exactly where we have to build our object. To do this, go to Plugins, RCT3, Placement, and in here you'll see full tile, quarter tile, half tile, and many others. These will show you, depending on what object, where to build it. In my case, I'm going to build a cube just as an example, so I'll choose full tile. You'll now notice that there is some dotted lines appearing. These are 4 meters by 4 meters, the exact scale of one Roller Coaster Tycoon's tile. Now, to build my cube, I'll start by drawing a square at the base. I'll just lock it to each corner of the boundaries. Now to turn it to a cube, I'll extrude it to 4 meters. There we go, now we have a fully functional 3D cube. I'll just go beneath and delete the boundary. It can be a bit of a trick to select sometimes. Now I've removed the boundary as we do not need this in the object anymore, and you can see my 3D cube. Now we must texture this object. To texture, you must have saved a texture already. I've saved mine onto my desktop. To access this, go File, Import, find your location. In my case, it's just a small metal texture. I'll make sure it's using as a texture. I'll now open it. You can add this to any face you want now. Just select one corner, then select the opposite. You'll notice this is only added to one face of your cube. To put this onto all your other faces, select the paint bucket. New window will open called Materials. You'll notice there's several buttons. The button we want to use is on the right hand side. We'll click the eyedropper just here. Now click the texture you just applied. You notice that over here this button has changed to the colour of your texture. Now if you click on any face of your cube, it will change to that same texture. So now we have a fully textured cube. Now, before extracting, we'll want to group this object as it is one, and we'll also need to name it. To do this, we'll just simply highlight, right click it, and go down to Make Group. Now, no matter where I click on this object, it will select the entire object. Now, to name it and set the textures right, we right click, go to Entity Info. A small box will appear saying labeled Entity Info. As I only have one texture and I have drawn this all on layer 0, I only need to name this one, and for this tutorial I'll just name it Metal. Now I've just got to click that button on the left there with the white and the purple, select that, I go down and choose my Metal layer. Click OK, and that layer has been fully named and grouped. I can now close this window. Now before exporting, you're probably best to save a copy in case you ever want to come back and just edit it. So I'm just going to save mine as Basic Cube. Now to export this object, I'll go to Plugins, ASE Exporter, and select Export. I want to export all construction points, so leave that selected as yes and click OK. Now choose the location at which you want to save. A new window will pop up. This tells you the exact location to where your ASE file is being saved and tells you how many faces your object has. Note, for every face that you can see, there is actually two faces, an outside and an inside face. You also need to remember to keep your faces below about 500, as the more you have, the more it slows down your Roller Coaster Tycoon. Now I can click OK. So I have fully saved my object as an ASE file, and that's it for this tutorial. All the best with creating your future custom scenery. Thank you.